installed with our premium roofing system. Backed by our 50-year warranty. And there's a 0% financing, no payment for 6 months options that this customer utilized. If you're looking for a new roof and you need an affordable option, call Absolute Restoration.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
Well, good evening and welcome to Mississippi Live Weather at 10. We have had a chilly day across North Mississippi this evening. Unfortunately, that trend is going to continue overnight and into your Monday. So let's get started with this broadcast to get you prepared for the work week ahead. We want to start those cars early. That is going to be one of the first things I do when I wake up. It is going to be a chilly start to the day. So making sure that car is started early, start defrosting all those windows. That will be key as you start off your Monday morning tomorrow. But good news is we got to push through till Wednesday. That is pretty much when we're going to start to slowly start warming up again. This is just kind of a 48-hour kind of cold freeze that we're about to experience. So definitely going to feel it overnight into Monday, overnight into Tuesday. But from Tuesday on, we're going to start really feeling that graduate warming process, and those above average conditions will return, especially on the back half of the work week. We're talking about highs around 44 degrees tomorrow, but then we're talking about mid 70s by the end of the week. So if that doesn't encapsulate Mississippi weather, I don't know what does, especially once you see the 7-day forecast at the end of this broadcast. But taking a live look out here right now in Crenshaw, 37 degrees, and there's those feels like values already dropping. Feels like 32 degrees already, so really already feeling like we're at that freezing point. 7-mile-per-hour winds coming out of the northeast, so anyone that's out late enjoying the last few hours of their weekend, make sure you are layered up because we are already starting to feel that Arctic blast really enter North Mississippi overnight, especially out there in Crenshaw. Going to be a chilly one as we continue into the overnight hours. Same thing out here in Mabin, 41 degrees, but thankfully feels like 41. One of the major reasons for that, don't see a wind component. It's not breezy out there. We don't feel that wind kind of pushing from the northeast, bringing all that continental Arctic Canadian air across the United States. That's why those feels like values are matching out there in Mabin. So definitely better conditions for those enjoying their evening in Mabin. But out here in Caledonia, 40 degrees, feels like 36. And there we go. That wind component is back. This time in the single digits, not as breezy, but still beautiful conditions, clear conditions, just very chilly conditions across North Mississippi. Taking a look at those temperatures all across our viewing area, you can see most of us are already starting to enter those upper 30s, 36 out there in Corinth, 35 in Holly Springs, 37 South Haven and Tunica. But for those still in the 40s, you can see 43 in Belzona, 42 in Greenville and Greenwood. So we're still slowly working our way down there, but once we get down there, we're not really working our way back up. You can see we're feeling around 43 degrees out there in Belzona, but that's going to be our highs for tomorrow. So once we sort of start hitting those 30s, we're not really going to reach much further once we cross that line. But the first 12 shows this, starting off with temperatures around 36 degrees by 11 o'clock, continuing to push down into the upper 20s by 5 in the morning. So definitely a chilly, frigid Monday morning start, and of course slowly warming our way back up into the low 30s by 8 o'clock, still almost at freezing conditions by the time we're getting ready for our work day, getting to class and all the kids are going to school. Definitely going to be a cool start, seeing low 40s by the time we get closer and closer to lunchtime for our Monday afternoon. Mississippi Live Weather Radar still shows no precipitation, no rain chances, definitely no snow occurring across the viewing area. Definitely mentioned snow just because we're talking about these freezing conditions. We'd at least love to see some flurries in the sky. Unfortunately, that is not going to happen here in North Mississippi. We are still staying very dry and we're going to stay pretty clear as we continue into Monday ahead. But let's kind of look at what's responsible for this. This is that cold front kind of pushed through North Mississippi, bringing in that cooler continental air. We can kind of map this out for you. This high pressure system spins clockwise. So what that's doing is kind of bringing that Canadian air from Canada and into the United States. That is why we're feeling these breezy conditions, not only from that high pressure system, but that cold front that blew through North Mississippi, that kind of kept moving across the southeast as well. So those two factors are bringing in all that Arctic air, and those breezy conditions is what's making us feel even colder than what those temperatures are reading outdoors. So like I mentioned earlier, the wind is not our friend, at least not for the next few days. They are definitely going to make us feel even chillier than what those temperatures are reading outdoors. So definitely going to be rooting against the wind for the next 48 hours. But here we go. You can definitely see those wind barbs and how fast they're moving across North Mississippi. This is going to be pretty much the only thing we can look at over the overnight period because we're seeing clear skies pretty much all night long. We're starting to cross into the early Monday morning hours, and then we'll start seeing some cloud cover try to cross over the Tennessee state line into Mississippi. But for most of us here in North Mississippi, we are waking up towards mostly clear skies. That cloud cover going to try to dig south into North Mississippi just a little bit, but we are so dry that cloud cover will not stick around for long. We are going to start seeing clearer skies by those afternoon hours. You can already see it right here, starting to push in just a little bit, but still very thin and wispy in nature, already dissipating as we continue into the afternoon hours. And there's some blue. Not here in North Mississippi. Would love to see some snow if we have to suffer through all these cold temperatures, but unfortunately, we are still staying dry here in North Mississippi. Next 24 shows us that no rain chances across the next 24 hours. Starting off our day, 28 degrees by 6 o'clock in the morning, warming our way up towards the low 40s by lunchtime, so still not really getting anywhere with those temperatures. Still sticking around the low 40s by 3 o'clock, then cooling on off already in freezing and below freezing by the time we get towards that 10 o'clock broadcast as well. So it will not be a cool morning, but a cool Monday all around, especially as we start off our work week. So I'm going to walk you through your Monday and even into the Tuesday morning hours, let you know everything you need to know going into the work week, how to prepare, get those pipes covered, the plants inside, everything you need to know coming up in 1 minute.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Even though Gabe grew up in Alabama, Mississippi has now become his home and his family. And one thing about Gabe is he keeps his family safe.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Caleb Edelblut.
Welcome back to Mississippi Live, weather at 10. Taking a live look out here in Winona, 43 degrees. Thankfully, only feels like 41. Only going down 2 degrees. That is impressive for what we're experiencing tonight, and that's due to that wind component. Not very strong, single digits, almost non-existent. 3 miles per hour coming out of the northeast, but still seeing beautiful, clear conditions. As long as you can stand the cold, it is a beautiful evening out here in North Mississippi. Not for me. That's why I'm standing inside, and especially out here in Tupelo. 37 degrees, feels like 31. I will be running to my car after this broadcast. I might start it as soon as I wrap this up before I close shop. It's too chilly for me. Already feeling like we're below freezing. Not much of a wind component, but you can definitely tell more than Winona, almost in the double digits. 8 miles per hour coming out of the northeast. That's kind of what's responsible for those feels like values dropping than what those actual temperatures are reading outdoors. Taking a look at our day planner, which is now the overnight planner. Temperatures are around 36 degrees by 11 o'clock, cooling towards freezing by 2, and then below freezing by the time we reach those early AM hours. Take a look at these wind components. Pretty much almost all double digits or on the verge of it with 9 miles per hour, but definitely 10 at 11 o'clock. And those breezy conditions are what's going to make those feels like values just really plummet, not only overnight, but into your Monday as well. That's going to be a common theme we see pretty much all day long. Futurecast shows these calm, clear, and breezy conditions pretty much all night long. Seeing not much cloud cover, and any clouds we had just kind of blowing away with the wind as we continue into the overnight hours. This is at midnight, but as we continue pushing into the early Monday morning hours, I wish I could should have put temperatures on this as well just to see how far they drop. This is why some freeze warnings have been issued across North Mississippi, so definitely take this serious, cover up those sensitive vegetation plants, all those pipes and everything. You want to drip the faucets as well, so definitely going to be a cool, chilly night. and a cool, chilly morning by the time we wake up 6 o'clock, seeing pretty much clear skies, but definitely going to want those cars cranked early when you wake up. Low temperatures are going to be pretty much in the mid-20s all across North Mississippi. 27 in Amory, Tupelo, Houston, 25 in Bruce. You see 28 in the Golden Triangle region. So no matter where you are pretty much in the 20s. If you're not, you're on the cusp of the upper 20s. 30 out there in Cleveland, 31 in Greenville, 30 in Belzona as well. So pretty much the main story is we're all below freezing. So definitely take this serious, and pretty much all of us should be under freeze warnings. Only the southern portion of our viewing area are under those freeze warnings just because the National Weather Service in Jackson has issued them, not the National Weather Service in Memphis yet, but still something that we need to take serious as we continue into the overnight hours. Futurecast shows that cloud cover trying to come back into North Mississippi and pretty much over the most northeastern portion of our viewing area. But as we continue pushing closer towards lunchtime, that cloud cover going to start pushing more southern into North Mississippi. But notice, very thin and wispy in nature, not going to be any meaningful cloud cover, and especially not going to be meaningful after lunchtime. Those cloud covers pretty much starts to take a U-turn, leaves our area. We are seeing clear conditions as well. But notice that wind, not as breezy by the time we make it towards Monday evening. Definitely finally getting rid of that wind factor. So excited to see that move on out of North Mississippi. This is at Monday at 7 o'clock. Definitely not a fan of the wind, and I won't be a fan of it tomorrow. High temperatures are going to be in the mid-40s across North Mississippi. 39 out there in Red Bay, 44 Amory, Columbus, Houston, Bruce, Eupora, 43 out there in Starkville as well. Going to be a chilly day, and I say that not only because of our high temperatures, but those feels like values, that wind chill, knocking most of us down into the 30s. So we're going to feel like we're in the mid-30s, upper 30s. You can even say 30 in Red Bay, so almost the cusp of upper 20s as well. 32 Iuka, Booneville, and Corinth. So it is going to feel just frigid outdoors, and that's just because of how breezy it will be as we continue throughout the day. But if the low temperatures tonight aren't enough, they drop even more for your Tuesday, pretty much mid to low 20s across North Mississippi. You can even see 19 out there in Hamilton, seeing the upper teens starting to pop up. And this is definitely below average for this time of year. We're only in the second week of November. Definitely does not feel like we should be in winter yet, but we are definitely feeling it as we walk outdoor, not only this morning, but into Tuesday morning as well. And I kept mentioning about those freeze warnings. National Weather Service down in Jackson has issued some freeze warnings across pretty much half of our viewing area. The only reason the northern half of our viewing area isn't under freeze warning is because the National Weather Service in Memphis hasn't really issued them, but you can't tell. With those low temperature graphics we've shown you, pretty much all of us should consider ourselves under this warning. Cover those pipes, strip the faucets, cover all those sensitive plants and crops as well, because this is something we want to take serious, because I know we want to make sure those plants and crops are taken care of overnight as well. But coming back to Futurecast for your Monday night, this is at 6 o'clock. Still not seeing as breezy conditions as we continue into the overnight hours, but still coming out of the northwest, allowing those cooler conditions to be felt. But by the time we make it into Tuesday, this is at 8:30, we're seeing breezier conditions, but this time kind of coming out of the south, not really the northwest. That's what's going to bring more moisture or warmer conditions back towards North Mississippi, and what's responsible for that warming trend. Definitely going to be a fan of the wind direction, at least, maybe still not the breeze, but it will start coming out of the south, allowing us to warm up. This is playing through your Tuesday, just showing we are staying clear and dry and going to start warming up as well into the early parts of your Wednesday morning, but definitely a change in direction of that wind speed. It's not coming out of the northeast, more out of the south, and that is what's going to allow us to feel warmer as we continue into the work week ahead. That 7-day forecast coming up in just a second will show you as well. But high temperatures already kind of showing that part of the story. We're seeing mid-50s to upper 50s as well across North Mississippi. 58 in Greenwood, 59 Belzona and Greenville, so almost finally seeing those low 60s return. Going to definitely feel warmer for our Tuesday and even warmer for our Wednesday and on. Just got to get through Monday and Tuesday, and then we're going to feel better as we continue into the work week. And we can see that same trend continue with those heat and seas as well, pretty much sticking exactly where the temperatures are reading outside, not really dropping us almost 10 degrees with that wind chill or anything. So definitely showing that wind not playing a factor as we go into our Tuesday and definitely into Wednesday and onward. That is a sign of good things to come. And the 7-day forecast shows that perfectly for us. We'll still see cold conditions Monday, high of 43, a low of 26. Low of 24 for your Tuesday, but high of 55, showing that warming trend starting to start. But Wednesday and on, you can already see upper 60s return for Wednesday, low 70s for Thursday. Then we're seeing above average conditions return, pretty much mid 70s Friday and on, dipping again into the low 70s for your Sunday. But that's due to maybe a line of system and of storms trying to make their way to North Mississippi. But of course, this is still a week out and something that we're going to track all week long, but showing those above average conditions will finally return here to North Mississippi. I know we've been wishing for the cold, wanting cooler conditions, but I know I'm already rooting for these 70s to come back to North Mississippi, and I'm going to enjoy it every single day of them once they get back. But here's the QR code to both the iOS and Android app. We appreciate all the support and that you give us here at Mississippi Live Weather, and I appreciate coming up here for another week and giving all the very latest on the broadcast and making sure y'all are prepared for another work week ahead of y'all here in North Mississippi. But our morning meteorologist, Maggie McCauley, will be up and at 'em early talking about these freezing conditions at 6:37 and 7:30. And of course, our chief meteorologist, Matt Laubon, and meteorologist Gabe Maynard will be back at 5, 6, and 10 tomorrow evening, getting you prepped for another chilly night here in North Mississippi. But I've had another fantastic weekend here with y'all. Look forward to the next weekend, and I hope y'all have a warm Monday ahead. And I'll see y'all next weekend.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.